Beyond the gates of mighty kingdoms lies a vast, unexplored world. A world of honor. A world of mystery. A world of danger.
"4 years have passed since the mortal races banded together and stood united against the might of the Burning Legion. Though Azeroth was saved, the tenuous pact between the Horde and the Alliance has all but evaporated. The drums of war thunder once again.
In a land of mighty kingdoms, new threats emerge. Ancient alliances are reforged. And an unexplored world awaits. Blizzard Entertainment proudly invites you to experience Warcraft from a whole new perspective. Stake your claim. Live the legend. A world awaits. The world of Warcraft.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are live. Hopefully, we have a non-scuffed start this time. It's been a minute, guys. It's good. It's good to be back. Can you guys hear me all right? So far, so good, guys. Another week closer, man. It's been a few days. I've been a little caught up doing wedding stuff. As you guys, most of you probably know, I'm getting married in a couple weeks here. So I've been dealing with the vendors and doing that stuff. Also, these allergies have been kicking my ass. I got seasonal allergies, but nothing gets me hype like you guys, man. When I see you guys come in the chat spamming like fire, emojis and shit, like it gets me going, man. It reminds me this is the best gaming community on the planet, dude. We about to take over, man. Couple months, boys. Couple months. How's everybody doing today, guys? Everybody doing all right? Oh shit, the man got a real mic. Indeed. Welcome everyone on Twitch. Welcome everyone on YouTube. Even the heads on Facebook. We've got a couple over there, guys. Welcome to the stream. We're another day closer. Date is April 30th. The days are flying by, guys. It's going to be here before we know it. But cheers to that. Let's cheers to that. No beers today. Just some monsters and some cold brews. But, man, it's getting there, guys. We're going to look back on this. Like, it's going to be here before we know it, man. That's always how it is, you know? It's always how it is. I feel like I just got engaged yesterday. It's been a whole year and the wedding is finally here. It's crazy how stuff sneaks up on you. And we're going to look back on these days fondly, you know, the days before Classic launched. Magical Bean, what's up, my dude? We'll get to see you again in here, man. Yeah, sorry I didn't stream yesterday. I was feeling a bit under the weather. But, man, I've been hitting the lab hard, guys. So, you guys know I love leveling, right? You guys know this by now. And we've been doing the Duratar route, like the 1 to 20 route, legit dozens of times, man. Big shout out to Navik. I hope Navik's watching right now, because Navik has been no life in it with me. Just practicing the 1 to 20, finding minor optimizations here and there. We make one mistake, delete, try again. But I love it. I love it. Playing that perfect game in the early levels, it's so cool. So one thing we're going to do today on the stream is we're going to do VOD review of some speed leveling routes. And I'm here. I'm just your servant, guys. If you have any questions about, you know, particularly leveling, that seems to be sort of my niche when it comes to knowledge and stuff like that. I can help you guys out. At this point, we've pretty much tried every single, well, at least the major ones, the class combinations, you know, dual leveling, solo leveling, all that. Like, I've been practicing both, man. So it's surprisingly similar, man. Like, the thinking at first was that you would complete the initial starting zone by yourself, right? And then link up with someone. And that's where you would start your dual leveling experience. That was the thinking, right? We have since started at level 1. And we've done stuff like dual warlock, double hunter. And you can finish the Valley of Trials, or you can finish the Camp Narachi like way faster. You're a little bit behind on XP. But it's honestly not even bad. Dual leveling starting at level 1. So I'm a bit torn whether I'm gonna solo or dual level up to like the Barons. Pretty much. The timings, it's really weird, but they math out so they're very, very similar. The advantages of dual leveling, though, obviously it's more fun, there's more margin for error, and also you're going to get a lot more resources. So the stuff that you're killing, you're gonna end up with a lot more cloth, you're going to end up with a lot more, you know, meat, you're going to end up with a lot more money, because you're killing more stuff. And this is at the highest level of play, though, not to toot my own horn here, but we've been practicing this so many times that we have, like, the 1 to 20 down pat. Like, I could legit be blindfolded right now, and I could math out every step in my head where to tactically die at to respawn at, you know, Razor Hill or Senjin. We have, like, gone full poop sock with the 1 to 20. And, I don't know, let me stop and see if there's any questions here, but... Shaman or Paladin for class, that's a big call, man. You're still on the fence whether you're Horde or Alliance? Kargoz, do you think it's worth walking to a different race's starting zone if your own is too crowded? Nah, man. I think in a sharded environment, it's looking like, you know, we're going to have this sharded environment, right? So I think all the shards, you know, again, this is just a gut. This is just a gut thing. But I figure all the shards are going to be equal. You know, on a private server, when there's a fresh server, you know, a launch, you know, places like Mulgore are way less congested than Valley of Trials, right? Everybody's in the Valley of Trials, freaking out. I assume it's the same thing with, the Night Elf zone might be a little bit more chill. A lot of Night Elves, though. Dunmore would probably be the least congested on the Alliance side. Whatever that little dwarf area is called.
Thanks for the streams, my man.
Oh shoot, who did that? Harrison Reed, thanks for the $2, man. Thank you very much, man. This monster's on Harrison. Thank you very much, Harrison, my man. Appreciate it. Good to see you. Good to be back in the house, guys. It feels good. It feels good being able to chill with you guys again. Got the classic WoW OST keeping us company in the background. Some good stuff, baby. This is gonna be an era, guys. The stars have aligned. All those thousands of hours we spent playing this damn game, now coming back, now gonna be relevant again. Somehow, there's some miracle. This is now coming back into the limelight. And we have an opportunity to you know, put all those thousands of hours of gameplay and knowledge, you know, and reapply it, and, you know, create an amazing community. And get new generations to fall in love with this game. I'm so excited. I've never felt this way about a game before in my life. There's a few up there. Halo 2 was a big one. I was there for the launch, and You know, I was on the Bungie forums every day, consuming every little piece of lore and nugget and Easter egg that would leave us. I have never felt this way about a game, though, guys. I'm so fucking excited to play some Classic WoW with you guys. I'm really excited. It's gonna be an era, man. All the people I've been meeting over the past months, doing this prep, I feel like I'm preparing for like the Olympics or something. You know? Because I'm gonna be streaming, like, there's a physical component too. Like, I've been going to the gym a little bit, one, because of the weddings coming up, but, you know, I feel like this is like a triathlon or the Olympics or something like that that's coming up. And, you know, just doing all this prep work, like, I don't know, man. It's gonna be fun, putting it all to the test. When it really launches, when it really fucking counts, dude. I can't wait. You know, we practiced 1 to 12, and 12 to 20 so many times, but how long is that going to take on real servers? Couple hours, right? The amount of min-max what kind of monster is it? It's Ultra Paradise. I think it's kind of a new monster flavor. It's pretty good. It's kind of like a green apple kind of taste. But the amount of hours we've spent like min-maxing the 1 to 20, and then that's only going to be taking a few hours when the game actually launches. I don't know, man. Never done that with any kind of game. Can you make a video on professions for duo leveling? Yeah, we can talk about it today. That's the purpose of this, you know, of this workshop. So anything related to leveling. You know, a lot of you guys may not be into leveling. You don't enjoy the leveling process in Classic WoW, but you're going to have to go through it on launch. You know what I mean? So even if you're not super excited about the concept of speed leveling or whatever, you probably want to go through the motions in a somewhat efficient way. So, you know, I am your servant here, guys. If you have any questions, definitely hit me up. Yeah, so 1 to 12 Spectre. I actually have footage for you guys to show you guys some cool footage of dual leveling. You guys are hearing me talk about it, yammer on about it. We're gonna do some VOD reviews today. There's a couple people that have been sending me some VODs on dual leveling. So much goes into it though, man, Spectre, what I will say. So much goes into class combinations if you're dual leveling as well. The good thing about doubling up and going like 2x of the same class when it comes to dual leveling in the early levels is that pretty much always you're going to have an aligned win condition, damage win condition. So if you're running double warlocks, you have the double dot, kind of rotting win condition. If you're going double hunter, you both share the ranged, mobile physical damage aspect. Double rogue too, guys. Holy shit, double rogue. Double rogue is crazy. Anybody ever do double rogue? I don't know how well, it's gonna. We haven't had a ton of experience, but at least in the early levels, you're playing like ping pong with the mobs. One guy's you basically backstab back and forth, and the mob just gets killed in 4 backstabs pretty much at worst. Early rogue leveling, double rogue was really fast. I was very surprised by that. Do you have tips for leveling that are not class specific? Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. So many tips for non-specific class leveling. I mean, we're gonna get into it once we watch some VODs. We're gonna watch some VODs, and I will just take you through my mindset as we go through these early levels together, and hopefully you're gonna be able to take something from that. There's a lot, Classic WoW is a game on a surface level that looks kind of simple, looks kind of slow, but there's a lot of like decision making that goes into it, even in the early levels, man. Anyone know when launch is estimated? I don't know, man. I mean, a lot of people are estimating it's going to be mid-July, but no, your guess is as good as mine. What do you think about on Classic launch going to Duratar to get org rep for the wolf mount? Yeah, I mean, to each their own, Rick. I don't know too much about that. I don't know how much of a time sink that would be. I mean, but there are many advantages towards getting ahead of the pack, right? It is definitely very valuable to get ahead. So I'm not, to each their own. If people don't want to and they just want to play at their own pace, they have only a few hours to play, I get it. But if you do intend on going full poop sock, I do think you should put the time in now so you can get ahead. Dennis Boujers, Kargoz, you are awesome. You take matters in such a big perspective, and I've learned so much from you. Cheers from the Netherlands. Dude, thank you very much, man. It's a really nice thing to say. Appreciate the support, dog. You bet 50 euros on June 16. Dude, that's coming up, man. June 16. I've been hearing the July rumors, but June? What's the best level to embark onto the Barrens? So that's going to depend, that boy, on, again, like your class your class quests, and how fast you can clear out Duratar. So like in my old route, I used to clear out Duratar, and I would really like make a heavy emphasis on grinding mobs almost too much. I would kill like a ton of extra stuff, like anything that was even remotely close to me I would kill as I was moving from objective to objective, and I would enter the Barrens around like 13, 14, sometimes even 14. I've now kind of since changed my perspective on that. You're most likely going to enter the Barrens. If you're solo leveling, you're going to be like almost 12. You're going to be like 11 and maybe like 60, 70%. If you're duo leveling, you're probably going to be like 11 and a half or 11 and a third. Probably like 11 and a third. But that's okay. You'll be able to rip through Duratar really quick. You think they will keep the same servers as before? I don't see why not, man. What are they going to come up with new WoW names? They got to keep the same servers. Will the City Cloth Reputation quest be available at launch? That's a great question, Polo. I don't believe so. I think they are added much later, like something like during the war effort or something like that. If anyone knows the exact patch, you can look it up. But yeah, that's a good question, man, because those are pretty juicy. Like you can get a nice little tempo burst of XP and get you to that, you know, that next talent that's going to accelerate you. All I can say is get out of Duratar ASAP. I don't know, quick shots. I mean, it's going to depend, man. Like, you could leave Duratar ASAP if you think you have a good shot of being ahead of the pack. But let's say you just started late or something and you walk into the Barrens and it's an absolute nightmare. Maybe you stay in Duratar a little bit. You know, if you have free reign to the mobs and kill them until you're a couple levels above. And that's the thing. You always have to be adaptive when it comes to your leveling strategy because, you know, so much can go wrong, man. Like, honestly, when we do these speed runs and we go through the motions, you guys don't see it, but, you know, a lot of these runs are scuffed. Like, one of us will just forget to get a quest or forget to turn something in or whatever, and, you know, then we'll just scrap the run and try again. But when the classic server actually hits and we're actually in it, like, you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna get tired of making mistakes, and you're gonna have to be adaptive and, like, learn how to, like, you know, alter your route or modify your route on the fly. That's a big one, man. That's a big one. What about prot warrior leveling? I don't know. I wouldn't worry. I mean, if your interest is tanking while leveling, I think arms is probably the best tree. It'll probably offer you the most. You know, again, you can level as any spec, especially when you factor in duo leveling. You know, like, you know, once you open the doors to duo leveling, much more things in general become viable. Professions become more viable. Doing dungeons becomes more viable. It's another great aspect of duo leveling. Not only is it very efficient, but you know, a lot more avenues of the game open themselves up to you and become more optimal to do. Anyone going for rank 14? I don't know. Anybody going for rank 14? I'll see how it goes, man. I'm very interested on the PvP side of things, though, I have to say. I've said it before. Oh, we got a Twitch Prime sub. Let me see who did that. That was Get Vertical. Subscribe with Twitch Prime. Welcome to the channel, man. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it, dude. Welcome. Level however you want, because... Sorry, I missed that. Level however you want, because endgame rating is going to be much more specific. Yeah, I mean, that's why I really love duo leveling. For one, you can relish in the excitement, you know, of the launch and everything with another person and have, like, really good memories playing together. 2, it's very efficient. 3, like I said before, it accelerates, you know, it makes professions and dungeons and stuff like that much more viable to do if you can get guaranteed quest rewards that are going to impact both of you directly. And it's just a really fun, it's a fun way to go about it. I'm definitely going to duo level myself. My whole thought process on it is, when are we going to start that duo leveling adventure? It might be in the Barrens. That might be where we link up, or we could link up at level 1 or at level 6. I'm not sure. It's still TBD. But a lot of this is going to be, you know, on the fly. When the servers launch, we're going to have to feel it out based on, you know, how congested certain areas are. Can you talk on professions? Yeah, a lot of people want to hear about the professions. So I haven't fully explored this yet, guys. I really haven't. But the main one that sticks out as an awesome acceleration is if you're gonna duo level, going with another wand user, you can really accelerate your wand, crafting your wands. You're gonna be killing more stuff in a duo. You're just gonna be killing stuff more efficiently. So you're gonna compensate for that 50% XP split by killing more stuff. You know, you're pretty much just gonna be attacking everything en route between objectives, because it's so much. You reach these breakpoints of efficiency that it takes like little to no effort to dispatch of mobs. You're going to be getting a lot more materials. So pretty much the to any people that are going to duo level with another wand user. So let's say if you're going Warlock Priest, you're going Warlock Warlock, you're going Warlock Mage, you're going Double Mage. My recommendation to you would be to pick up Enchanting. One guy can pick up Enchanting Tailoring, or you can do Enchanting Skinning. You can mix match it, but ultimately one guy is going to get Skinning and Leatherworking, so you can make use of the skins that you're getting, and you can turn them into greens through the embossed leather vest. And the other guy's going to go Enchanting Tailoring, and he's going to craft brown linen robes. And between the two of you, you're going to be able to get that, craft those lesser magic wands. Pretty much by the time you do that major arc and you go to the main city for the first time, like that could be Stormwind, it could be Orgrimmar. By the time you get there, you should have enough cloth between the two of you to craft those wands. And the wands themselves, like the lesser magic wand, if you look at it, I'll pull it up. It is very strong, right? It's very strong. It does pretty much alter the rotation of any class that has this. If you were solo leveling, okay, I did it this morning. I did a 1 to 12 run on a Warlock this morning, and you feel like you don't. I didn't have near enough cloth, to be honest. Like when I did my arc and got my Voidwalker and I went to Orgrimmar and turned everything in, man, dude, like I didn't have enough cloth. I feel like in order to get this at a relevant timing window, you almost have to duo level, because you know you need between 58 and probably 65 cloth to make this thing, because the bolts of linen turn yellow at 25 and you need to get to 30. But if you look at it, to craft the lesser magic wand, it just takes lesser magic essence. It's very cheap, and you're going to get a bunch of these. The main pain point to craft these is getting enough cloth to learn the brown linen robe recipe. So you see what I'm saying? So you pretty much funnel all your cloth to one guy. Then he's able to reach that 58, 65 linen cloth much faster than he would solo. And then by the time you make your first arc into the city, you can pretty much go to the, you can divide and conquer. He can go over there and craft 2 wands for you, easy. And then pretty much as you proceed out of, into the Barrens or into Loch Madan or into whatever secondary zone you're going to go into, one guy can make use of the skins and turn those into greens via leatherworking. The other guy can do so via tailoring, and then you should be able to, in theory, this isn't something we haven't practiced too much yet, but in theory you should be able to craft your graders much sooner. Kargoz game, are we going to go in an uproar if Blizzard attempts to shard anything other than the starting areas later down the road? I'm down. Yeah, they said they're only gonna do the starting areas, right? If they do more than the starting areas, yeah, I'm down to re. Okay, we got another Twitch Prime sub, Mick House. Man, you guys got some hard names, man. Mickey US 1337 subscribe to Twitch Prime. Welcome, Mickey. Welcome to the channel, my friend. Hope you're having a good day. We're talking some leveling. We're talking launch. We're talking everything. And for those of you just joining, we're gonna be doing some VOD reviews too. And I'm going to take you through my mind as we level, as we basically go through Duratar or whatever one we want to do. What professions would be good for Warlock Warrior? I mean, Warlock, I would just go Enchanting Tailoring to start, because, I mean, you do want that wand, man. If you're going to do a level and you're a Warlock, like, just get Enchanting Tailoring and just get all the cloth. It's that simple, man. You get the wand faster. That's the bottom line. If you do a level, you get Enchanting Tailoring, you get the wand faster than you would solo because you're killing more stuff. None of us will be ahead of the pack, just be honest. No, I think a lot of you guys will be. People here, right now, like, we're here talking about Classic WoW months before the damn game launches. I think pretty much most of us will probably be in the upper echelon of players, man. Kargoz, I'm gonna level as a Druid hybrid build. Do you think I should grab Insect Swarm or Omen of Clarity? Imp Thorns first. That's a good question. Are you gonna be solo or duo? I'm gonna have a priest at my side. Okay, if you have a priest at your side, okay. Good question, man. Good question. So if you have a priest by your side, there's some implications there to think about. For one, duo leveling with a priest, they have Spirit Tap, right? So your sustain is going to be really high, dude. Any duo leveling combination with a priest is going to have very high sustain, because they're just getting Spirit Tap all the time. It's very hard for them to run out of resources. So Omen of Clarity gets a little bit devalued in that sense, but can you really have too many resources? A part of me wants to go just straight Omen of Clarity, because you're going to be able to, get, those clear casting procs and throw up heals and stuff like that. But I feel you on the Insect Swarm. Maybe you can be a little bit more offensive and pick up Insect Swarm first. I would say the safe route until I would test it out immediately is I would go for Omen of Clarity. I wouldn't go Feral and book it down to Feline Swiftness because you don't really need that movement speed bonus that much because you're only as fast as your weakest link, as your slowest link. And the Priest is going to be walking around like a potato. If you're going to be up in cat form, moving 30% faster, you know, what use is that going to be? I guess you could pull stuff. You probably find some value from it. But I think my gut tells me to go Omen of Clarity first. Omen of Clarity is just amazing, dude. It's really, really good. Clear casting in this game is just insane. Kargoz, you don't even need 58 cloth. Get the wand with only 48 linen and had mats to spare. No. Hold up. No, to get Lesser Magic Wand, you need to craft this, right? Brown linen robe. You train this at 30. So you need to get up to 30 tailoring. So pretty much to get up to 30 tailoring, you need to make bolts of linen cloth. I made a whole guide on this, man. I mean, it's like, it takes, what is this? Someone do the math, man. Disenchanting. Brown linen robe. Yeah, you need like 58, bro. You need like 58. 58 at minimum. If you get lucky, 58. But you could miss a couple of the yellow rolls. And if that's the case, then I would get a little bit more. You don't need to make bolts all the way to 30? What do you mean, Jan? For tailoring? What are you getting? How are you ranking up without bolts? I'm actually very interested in this. What are you ranking up with, Jan? Isn't that the only thing you can make? Looking forward to tanking low-level dungeons? Hell yeah, dude. The low-level dungeons are great. They're great. That was one thing that really surprised me, though. Yeah, you're going double rogue. Double rogue was very strong. So backstab, you get backstab at level 4, guys. Like, and we went double troll rogue too. So trolls, they start with the throwing daggers. So the pulling wasn't even really too much of an issue. You just throw the dagger, the mob comes over. Whoever the mob is not facing, you backstab him. The mob will turn, direct your attention at the one guy. The other guy will backstab. You go back and forth. Mobs will just disintegrate, man. You make bolts to 25 and craft gear, the last 5 skills. Huh. What gear, Jan? This is actually very interesting. Jan, my man, are you hitting me with some knowledge bombs right now, Jan? What can you make? What kind of gear? Thing is, you want to also get 2 of those lesser magic essence though, because you want to craft that wand, right? So if you make less greens, no. But the thing is, no, yeah. You need to disenchant, dude. You need to disenchant the robes up to 10. You need to disenchant 10 robes, right? Took me 70 cloth last 2 times, as all my DEs were strange dust. You make items that only cost 1 bolt. That's awesome, dude. I'm gonna look into that, Jan. That's good stuff. If you can message me on Discord the exact, like, what you make in order, that would be super helpful, I think, for everybody. Brown linen robe isn't level 30, no, but you train it at tailoring level 30. So this is the cheapest green item you can make in the game. Pretty much. It's even cheaper than leather. That's one thing I'm really excited to test, though, on live servers, because it seemed, at least on the private servers, that leather only drops, like a light leather, when you're skinning these early mobs, only drops like 25% of the time. It basically was much faster to acquire cloth. I wonder if that is correct or not, but it seems like cloth is definitely the way to go because it takes longer to get leather. Alright, we can get into some VOD reviews now. Good amount of people in the house. Give me a second here. Can we watch us Jet GC? Message me on Discord, man, so I can check it out. Or I can look at it. Let me see. What is this? Vanilla World PvP, why sharding is bad? Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna have sharding in World PvP though, man. I really think that I think Blizzard's serious about the fact that we're just gonna have it in the starting zones only for the first week or so. S-Fan banned? He got banned? For what? What did he do? Do you have some advice if we don't get ahead of the pack? Yeah, we could talk about that too. What happens if you're... Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Well, if you're in the middle of the pack, I would say there's a massive acceleration duo leveling because you're going to be messed with a lot less. That's one thing. There are ways to avoid. So I've leveled, you know, a lot of us have leveled through some of these private servers when you're not ahead of the pack and you're just joining the server late. One major thing is you can avoid Stranglethorn Vale for a while. You can get a little bit creative and avoid a lot of the really high intensity PvP areas for a very long time, and you can delay them as long as possible and then come through those zones, you know, maybe in a duo or maybe like kind of substantially ahead of them in terms of level, so you can smash through the quest and be, generally speaking, higher level than most people in there, so you'll be messed with a little bit less. That's one thing. Celine, hey Kargoz, how's it going? It's going good, dude. What are we leveling? S-Fand is banned on Twitter. Everyone keeps spamming that, dude. Why did he get banned? It's actually very easy to level if you fall behind. Level on alts, on rested XP. Yeah, you can do that route too. Alright, let's do some VOD reviews. I want to take you through this, boys. Let me see if I can get this going. We'll do some duo first to start. Alright. Let's see if you can see this. Add new source. Alright, you guys can see this alright, right? Put this behind the frame. Give me a second here, sorry. Okay, I think we're good. You guys can see this, right? No, we're not streaming a private server. This is just a VOD review. What are your thoughts on guide add-ons like Vanilla Guide or the written ones by Legacy WoW? Guide add-ons? Yeah, I mean, that are going to help you with a leveling path. They're very good, man. If you don't have a like a leveling plan ahead of time, if you don't know where the quests are at and stuff like that, then absolutely use one, man. That's going to move the needle a ton. A ton. Can you make a UI guide? Yeah, we can make one eventually. We got another Twitch Prime sub. Let's see who did it. Ignatius D, subscribe with Twitch Prime. Welcome to the channel, my man. Kargoz the best. Ready for revenge. Classic WoW. Be first again. Oh, Che Druid, man. That name sounds so familiar. Where do I know you from, man? You make content and stuff, Che? Alright, boys. So this is a VOD review of a speed run. We're going to go through it together. I'm a little bit dark now. I guess I'm a little bit dark. Just deal with a little bit darker Kargoz for a little bit. Alright. So you guys can't hear the volume, but that's alright. So you guys can hear it okay, right? So this is duo leveling, right? Let me just preface this. It's hard to just jump in like this. Alright, guys. So I love duo leveling. I love leveling. A lot of people are skeptical about duo leveling. A lot of people don't know if it's legit or not. You know, it's a big deal, like what strategy you're going to implement come Classic. You know, people don't know, you know, if it's truly more efficient to do so. You know, maybe they feel confident in their own leveling path. And my hope is to show people that duo leveling actually is very effective, even starting at level 1. You can hit really good times even starting at level 1. All right. So this is duo leveling, level 1. Okay. Will leveling in a group of 3 significantly hinder your XP gain and place you and your friends behind the pack? I don't know for sure, my man. It's the type of thing that you have to kind of have to try it out, man. Like, I haven't really explored trio leveling too much. I don't think it would though. I think you can make it work, man. I think the number one thing that's gonna put you ahead of the pack is just time spent. Can you guys agree with this? Being able to stay up and play more is going to put you ahead of the pack, regardless of what strategy you implement. That'll be the number one thing. Yo, Kargoz, what did you play it? It's going good, bro. What about dual leveling yourself in multi-boxing? To each their own, man. I know some people are into that. Can we get some straw polls? 1 to 11, how hard people will go. We can do that, Tankerino, for you, my man. Okay, before we get into this, we'll do a quick straw poll. And I gotta take a leak real quick, too. So let me put a straw poll here. The tried and true question. Ladies and gentlemen of the stream, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, I need you guys to answer a simple question for your man Kargoz here. I want to know how hard you guys plan on going come Classic WoW. This is on a scale from 1 to 10, and only choose 11 if you're going full Super Saiyan. How hard are you going in Classic? Alright, I'm going to put the straw poll in the stream right now. Quick, like, 30-second break. Be right back. Alright, vote it up, boys. Vote it up. Be right back. All right, we back. Let's see what you guys think right now. Let's see. How hard are we going? I'm going 11. I'm sorry, I gotta say it. I'm going 11, man. I'm going harder than I've ever gone before. 8. Okay, we got some responsible, well-adjusted citizens in here. Followed by 11, though. All right, so people are on between 8 and 11. I hear that. I think a lot of people want to go 11, but they'll most likely go 8. So I think that's a good one. Good to know, guys. Between working 70 hours a week, Richard? Holy shit, man. That's a lot of hours, dude. Kargoz, did you wash your hands? Yes, indeed, of course. Kargoz, you're a warlock now? Yes. I sold out, boys. Actually, you guys helped make the decision for me. If you guys remember, I put it in a vote. I left it up to a vote, and you guys chose warlock. And I'm very excited to play warlock, man. It's like a whole new game. I have very little experience playing a warlock, you know, especially at a high level and stuff. And I've always like just envied warlocks, man. How cool the warlock PvP looks. How cool the warlock PvP, the warlock sets look. So I couldn't be more excited to. I couldn't be more excited to play Warlock come Classic. So, okay, we're going to get into this VOD review here. Let me make sure you guys can, like, see it okay. A little bit small, kind of. Smallish. Okay. That should be good, though. You guys can see that all right? Okay, so this is dual leveling starting at level 1. This is just a VOD review. I'm not playing this or anything like that. This is just, All right. So you start in the Valley of Trials. You know, this is level 1 in the Valley of Trials, all right? You get your quest, you got to get the instant quest accept. That's one thing that's going to help a lot. So they have add-ons out there where if you hold down shift, or you know, they may operate in different ways, but if you can instantly get the quest or turn in quests. That's going to save you some time, because sometimes you have to actually, you know, right click it, and you definitely want to have that instant quest text enabled if you don't have that as well, because just watching it all through. But you're going to notice here, you absolutely shred through the mobs. Like you're like trivializing the content in the starting zone. You kill super efficiently. There's really good combinations too, like of dual leveling combinations. So in this one, it's double hunter. Double hunter, you just move in a productive direction the whole time. As you can see in the middle of the screen there are 2 little bars that look like they're you know, filling and resetting. These are swing timers. So one is a ranged swing timer, and the other one is tracking your actual melee strikes. So on a class like a hunter, it's probably relevant on maybe some other classes, mainly on hunter though. That's one pro tip you can do to get really good value. Your ranged auto shot and your melee swing timer, they're on different swing timers. So what you can do is you can fire at something. There's a 0.5-second hidden cast time to like a, you know, to a mob that's a little bit away. You can fire, and then directly right after, while your swing timer is kind of resetting, your ranged one, you can swing at a mob in melee and really increase your damage. So it's a little pro tip. Do we got a launch date? Not yet, my man. Not yet. No launch date yet. Hold on. This, we're in some weird music right now. Hold up. There we go. All right. So as you can see, one thing that's going to help move into a lot is always stay moving in a productive direction, man. If you're a mana user too, only try and engage mobs, especially at the low levels where when you regen in like big chunks. Really try to only engage mobs when you're like one spirit tick away from being full mana, right? That's another little pro tip right there. And just turn it into a game, man. Turn your resource management into a little mini game. Like, don't let yourself just sit at full health or full mana. Stay tapping, stay using resources, stay keeping stuff on cooldown. And if you're gonna go loot some cactus apples, or if you're gonna get some objective or something like that, do it when you're really low on health. Like, do it when you're low on mana or something like that. But you always want to be making use of your spirit ticks. What swing timer is that? For which one? There's one here that's Samuel swing timer, and the other one is Yacht. Yeah, so there's a bunch of them. There's like, ideally you want a swing timer that's going to track your swings and your opponent's swings, your enemy's swings. But you're going to be able to see right here that this is very efficient. So how fast do you guys think you can complete the Valley of Trials? Let me get some votes in the chat right now. How fast can you complete the starting zones? Best place to grind for a priest around level 34, huh? Level 34 priest? Solo, level 34 priest. Some good spots in hills. It depends if you're Alliance or Horde too, man. 34, you might want to go to like, you know, it's probably going to be taken though, but stuff like if you're Alliance, you can go check farm. If you're Horde, there's some places in hills, Brad. Yeah, there's a lot of places, man. It's hard to answer. 22 minutes, 22 minutes. Yeah, so I mean, those are some pretty good guesses, but you know, duo leveling, you can complete Valley of Trials in under 20 minutes. How crazy is that? How nutty is that? You know, I think on this take it was like 19 minutes, which is really crazy. So some of the best dual leveling combinations in these early zones, man, like double hunter, double. Oh, one thing that's pro. Let me tell you guys a pro tip right now. Did you guys know that you can train your first skill, your level 2 skill, what you think was a level 2 skill, you can train it right off the bat. So the most impactful one is Warlock's IMO. You can train Immolate immediately. So pretty much when you spawn into the starting zone, you start with food and water, right? You start with a little bit of jerky, you start with a little bit of water. You can go vendor those immediately and go pick up Immolate immediately. And especially in a dual leveling, that was a sick acceleration. You throw up 2 Immolates on a level 1, the thing is dead. You know, on a level 2, maybe 2 Immolates and 1 Shadow Bolt from one dude, and you just keep cycling back and forth, you know, your resources. One person's regenning, one person's, you know, engaging. So some other classes that could be impactful on, Shamans can pick up Rockbiter right off the bat too. That could be pretty good. But the downside to going this line of play is, you know, is that you're going to have to be a little bit more careful with your positioning and movement, because you're not going to have water to drink right off the bat because you just sold everything that you had. You don't have any water, and water is an amazing accelerator. Like getting max rank water, like ice cold milk or refreshing spring water, massive acceleration. Being able to use those, you know, tactically. So Shaman can get Rockbiter, Rogues get Stealth. That's not that great. Warriors can pick up Battle Shot at level 1. That's not, you know, too insane. Also Warriors can't too, because they only start with 5 jerky. They don't have water, so you can't vendor it and get it right away. Damn, 20 minutes, launch zones 100. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff is like a theoretical kind of min-max. Like, I doubt you're going to be able to do Valley of the Trials in 19 minutes on a fresh server. You never, I don't know. Well, I mean, you're just going to have to do your best, right? At the same time, you know, we have no idea what the shard is going to look like, man. I wish Kargoz was playing Alliance. Alliance doesn't have as many American classic streamers. I might make a pally alt, man. I like pallies a lot. Yeah. When do you train in bandages? Depends on if you're Alliance or Horde, you know? Like, if you're, I mean, me personally, I don't even train bandages on Warlock. I don't train First Aid right away because I'm trying to get my wand ASAP, so I'm not going to be using any of that linen for bandages. But it's going to depend on your class. Like, maybe if you're going, you know, Warrior Shaman or something, maybe you get First Aid on someone. First Aid is great, not only because you can heal, but the heal that you're getting from the bandage isn't interfering with your 5-second rule regen, right? It's all about regen. You guys are going to realize, man, when you start leveling at kind of a high level, or sort of in a high-end way, it's all about resource management. That's the name of the game. It's all about managing your resources, man. Knowing when to dump resources, and you know, like, if you get access to like a new rank of water, like as soon as you get like ice cold milk, or as soon as you get 15 and get the next rank of water, I think it's sweet nectar or something like that, you can change your playstyle just around having access to that water and how much water you have. You can start playing way more aggressively and just dumping mana like crazy, because you sit down for a few seconds and you're just getting insane mana regeneration from that new rank of water. So it seems silly, but something as simple as just a new rank of food or a new rank of water can really affect your combat rotation. Kargoz, are you going to the optimal quest route for the Alliance, or are you going to stick with the Horde side? Yeah, I know the Alliance routes too. I know the Alliance routes up to 30 pretty well. I like leveling the Alliance on 30. It's very straightforward in my mind. I like it a lot, you know. Just going to all the classic zones: Westfall, Red Ridge, Westfall, Red Ridge, Duskwood. Level 10 in 2 hours 30. That's yeah, we're able to do it much faster than that. If you're going hard, and I mean, it's going to depend on real classic servers, you know, like when there's actual people around, no one knows exactly, you know, what it's going to look like. But if you have the world to yourself, you can get level 10 in like hour and a half. So a lot of people feel hunters are weak level 10, right? Are weak pre-10. Anybody feel that way? A lot of people who like don't understand, you know, how to stutter step and track your swing timers, you feel that before hunters get a pet, they're very weak in the early levels, right? IMO, they're one of the quickest. I love hunter leveling pre-10. You use no resources and your auto shot just hits like an absolute truck. And you're moving too at the same time. You don't have to sit there and stationary cast. So some of the classes that we thought at an early level were going to be the fastest. Like, I thought Warlock was going to be one of the fastest classes. It's actually not that fast. Because you're sitting there hard casting a lot of dots and you're stationary, and dots are really prone to overkilling stuff. So Warlock really was not nearly as fast as I would have thought. Like, even mages, dude. Mages level really fast in the early levels. They just do so much damage. And pretty much, you may be thinking to yourself, but mages have to drink a lot, right? Because you know, they're casting these spells. But how it maths out in a lot of these early levels is like you're killing a mob and then you're just using the time when you're regenning just to move. You know what I mean? You're just moving during that regen time and just moving in a productive direction. And then once your mana's in a good enough spot, you re-engage and you rinse and repeat. And it's very, very efficient, the early mage levels. Hunter do the most damage with pets. It's true. All I'm saying is that early level hunter is insane. Like, you can get 4 or 5 auto shots off before the time the mob connects with you, and if you can like kind of finesse the terrain as well a little bit. Very, very strong. You're gonna see a little cool tip here with double hunter. You can both attack a mob, and then once the mob does close the distance, you switch and you attack your friend's mob and he attacks yours, and you're just always able to get value from that auto shot. Really, really sick. But as a feral druid, duoing with an S priest was good times. Priest druid. Yeah, it could be good. I mean, you don't necessarily need someone with like a hard taunt. I mean, I don't know. It could be good. I've messed with it. If you're playing 2 classes and they can both heal, you're probably gonna be pretty safe and pretty good, right? You're probably gonna be pretty safe and pretty good. But being able to get those guaranteed shred value is pretty nice. Eric Yarbrough, Kargoz, first time being able to catch the streams. Been watching a lot of your YouTube videos lately and learning a ton for Classic Release. Keep up the good work, man. Yo, thank you very much, man. That's very nice of you to say. Kargoz, hunters are weak 1 to 10 melee, but not overall. Oh, that's the thing, Meeker. They're really actually not that weak 1 to 10 if you know how to stutter step. So you pretty much shoot with your auto shot, and then, you know, in the time where your auto shot is cooling down, you're moving in the best possible direction you can be moving. You're moving to the next objective, and you're constantly moving in a productive direction. It costs no resources to auto shot. I feel like they're pretty strong in the 1 to 10. 110, as you're gonna see that you complete Valia trials, duo, you know, like level 5.5 in 19 minutes. That's insane. That's insane. You think instant quest accept add-ons will be ready for release? I doubt it. I think if they have a beta, we've been talking about add-ons over the past couple weeks. If they have a beta, you know, even for a little bit, I think we're gonna have all the major quality of life add-ons. Yeah, but if we just go straight launch and there's no beta, there's a pretty solid chance there's not gonna be add-ons for a little while. I hope there's no add-ons for a little bit, just for a couple weeks. Joanna did the record on a troll hunter indeed, and that was actually on real official classic servers, so that's in a whole nother league of its own. I got mad respect for Joanna. He did that like over a decade ago on real servers without any of the tools and knowledge that we know now. Really, really impressive stuff, and I think he's coming back. Thoughts on Alliance Warlock? It's much harder to get the Imp quest. That's another thing that was interesting that we explored on Warlock. For Warlocks, if you're going to play a Warlock, you can get your Imp quest immediately. Right, and we did multiple runs testing whether or not that was going to be the optimal line of play to go get it immediately. It turns out it's not. It's you don't want to rush it, because especially if you're a caster, targeting a mob that's even 2 levels higher than you is a real pain in the butt. Like, yeah, you can still kill it, but you're going to kill it a lot slower. And if you get a resist or something like that, and you have to resort to meleeing it for like 10 seconds, oh, GG, bro, GG. So I don't think you get the Imp right away. You know, I'm pretty much certain that you don't get the Imp right away. Now, on a real classic server, you know, it's possible the getting Imp first could be correct, just because you might have a lot of people killing the Imps. I don't think so though. I don't think you get the Imp right away. You can delay it, but I definitely would get Immolate at level 1, dude. It's so good. Like, that's the nature of damage over time spells, you know. And a lot of the times, like, as you're actually in here, you know, fighting mobs, you realize the importance of dots, you know, to get that last little ticks of damage. Oftentimes it really helps instead of having to cast the whole fresh one. After we get DM and ZG, is Mage Hunter lock? Is Mage over Hunter? Yeah, I would say so, Antonio. I mean, the most gold I've ever seen people make in the game is when mages are farming the Crocs and ZG and selling the Bijous. That's insane gold per hour. I mean, but Tribute Run is going to, if you're for Hunters and Mages, once the Iron Maul comes out, that's just going to be that's pretty much going to be the best gold making method. It's a drag leveling a priest, but worth it when you get to 60. Everyone wants you in their party. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Everybody wants a good priest, man. Just hit level 5 in 33 minutes on a mage. It's not bad, man. It's not bad. Mages are sick, though. That's one thing I would recommend, though, guys, because the name of the game is resource management, you really don't want to overkill stuff. So make sure you're using only just enough spells to kill that mob, and you're going to have... Really value your spirit ticks, guys. This is another really huge point. Really value your spirit tick. So every 2 seconds, you know, if you're outside that 5-second rule, you're going to get a tick, a spirit-based tick, right? That's either going to be of health or mana or both, and really value them, right? So, do your best to preserve them. And if you're going to break, if you need another cast to kill something in the early levels, and you know you're going to break that 5-second rule, consider just going right into a drink right after, going right into a spring water or a milk. Let me see what you guys think. Was Tribute soloable in vanilla, or is it a private server thing? I have no idea, Shaman. I don't know if people did it back in OG vanilla. I know I sure did, and I was kind of an idiot, but maybe someone in the chat knows. Kargoz, what would you say to a warrior player? What would I say to a warrior player? With regard to leveling, I would say 1 to 10 is pretty quick. I would say melee a lot of critters as you walk around, just to keep up the rage. You know, learn how to blood rage bandage. Really stay on top of your weapon progression, and, you know, check the vendors for weapon upgrades. The early vendors have great upgrades. Use hamstring method, and also use demoralizing shout. It's called demo shout, right? Yeah. So pretty much use Demo Shout a lot. Demo Shout's something that's grown on me a lot. It does reduce a lot of damage, and it's usable right after you apply that hamstring. So like you charge into the mob, you swing, you apply hamstring, and now you're kind of like moving outside of its hitbox, right? You're strafing back or through it or whatever. In that little interim time, you can consider throwing up a Demo Shout. It does reduce damage even further. And every penny saved is a penny earned, man. So even just because you're not converting that rage into direct damage, it could still be worth it because you're saving life, right? Did Blizzard talk about when they plan beta? Well, there's talk of a beta up on the CDN. There's a whole thing that says WoW Classic Beta, but nobody knows exactly when. It seems like right now there's a Friends and Family Alpha going on. Isn't that crazy though? People are playing Classic WoW right now, as we speak. Friends and Family, man, or internal. Maybe it's not Friends and Family. No, I think they just said it was internal, right? Employees only. I don't think it's Friends and Family. You don't happen to have Shaman weapon progression? I absolutely do, man. It's on the Shaman leveling guide, but we're going to improve those. So I'm working on V3 leveling guides. I'm just trying to get some confirmation. Like, once we can get a beta or some kind of hard answers towards some of these questions, I'm going to know exactly what we're working with, and I'm going to put out a V3 version of the leveling guides for all classes. I'm just really, like, keen on getting some confirmation on some things so I don't put out anything wrong. Can you answer, please, for pure PvP, Druid or Hunter? Man, it depends. Depends so much, man. It's just different. Like, it's different roles. Like, they're both very strong in PvP. They're just different, you know. I don't even.
Blue text boxes are pretty.
These blue text boxes are pretty. Jeppe Homestead with the DKK 20, man. Thank you very much, dude. Indeed, they are pretty. Thank you for the contribution, man. So Druid's their role in PvP, at least in a pre-made setting. They're the de facto flag carriers. You guys know this. They can spin nodes really well in Arathi Basin and delay the enemy team a lot. In world PvP, Druids are also a threat, but they're a threat in like kind of a non-traditional sense. Like, if you're talking duels and they're confined to the radius of a duel, they may have a harder time. But if they have the entire open world to disengage and re-engage on their terms, Druids can go the distance, man, and they have like this attrition-based win condition as opposed to some high-tempo burst damage type win condition. Druids are very strong against like mages and stuff in like a solo PvP, world PvP kind of sense. Hunters at the same time. A lot of people, will shit on hunters and say, why are you going to play a hunter? You know, your damage falls off. One thing that they don't fall off on is PvP. So if you want to play hunter, hunters are awesome, and you're really going to continue to be a threat and stay a threat both in a pre-made setting and also in world PvP. They're very good at dueling. If you like PvP, Hunter is a great choice. As you can see in this video, absolutely just tearing through Valley of the Trials. I mean, there's very little consideration towards really anything. You're just absolutely massacring all these mobs. Druids are actually the best in the game if you know how to play them. And Druids are definitely a very complicated class, man. Very complicated class. If you're gonna play Druid, get Druid Bar, man. That's the one thing I would say. Just like Hunters need auto shot timer, if you're gonna play Druid, man, get Druid Bar. Or it could be called something else, but you want to be able to track your caster form mana. Holy shit, what was this?
SEK is better than DKR.
200 SEK, dude. SEK better than DR. Oscar Wallen, thank you very much for the donation, man. What's a SEK, man? Is that mini euros? What country is that from? Thank you very much for your support, my friend. That's very nice of you, dude. Is Hunter good late game PvPers? Yeah, Hunters are fantastic in PvP. You're gonna have a great time in the battlegrounds. You know, even just in AV as a Hunter, you're gonna have an awesome time. Swedish Crones. Okay, gotcha. Thank you very much, man. Thanks for letting me know. See, another big thing. In the early levels, like 1 to 10, 1 to 12, you know, even into the teens, one thing that's going to save you a lot of time, guys, is tactically dying. You got to know, you know, where you can die at. Well, if it will spawn you at the correct graveyard, right? So one thing you can do is if you want to tactically die, if you're a Warlock, you can just tap yourself really low and then pull some mobs and die. But if you're any other class, you can potentially take your gear off if you really want to try hard. But you can /sit, and you could just spam /sit so that you just keep sitting down getting crit so you can die a lot faster. And then you just res it the Spirit Healer. It's going to save you a lot of times. In my 1 to 12 route, I die and res at a spirit healer like, I don't know, 10 times or something like that. It's something I do a lot. It saves you many, many minutes. Do you think people are going to farm Pummeler to push and raid, what, manual crowd Pummeler from Nomer? Oh yeah, I definitely think so. Shadow inspired a generation of fledgling feral druids. They're all going to be farming up manual crowd Pummelers, absolutely. Press X to sit. Yeah, you can do that too as well. Life tap, Hellfire, Suicide, yep. Well, you're not going to get that till later. I mean, it could still be worth it, and you know, situationally at later levels to tactically die if you have to take a break or something like that. Crit sitting in Classic, yes, you will still get crit if you sit. You're just not going to proc the talents, Maishka. So you will, no matter what happens, you're going to get crit if you're sitting down, man. It's just may or may not proc the talents, and it's looking like it's not going to proc the talents. But it's still something that can be useful for dying as fast as possible. So you're going to see like a nice little tip here coming up, pretty much to go to Senjin as fast as possible. You're going to see a very nice tactical death. You're going to see this momentarily. I kind of want to try Hunter as a class I've never played before, but the skill cap seems high, kind of intimidating. It is kind of high, man. But nothing that you can't do for sure. It's a very, very fun class. The playstyle is very fun, very dynamic. Hunters have some cool aspects about them too. Like, you look really cool, you wear your full tier sets, you're a monster in world PvP, very self-reliant class, you look awesome, you get awesome looking weapons, cool tier sets. What professions will you use for your warlock? Leveling and max level. So I'm gonna go enchanting. I'll probably go enchanting skinning or enchanting tailoring. I'm gonna dual level, right? I'm gonna dual level, and we're gonna do that profession combination I referenced before. Enchanting tailoring on one guy, skinning leatherworking on another guy. We're going to use that to accelerate and get our wands ASAP. Once I get 60, I will most likely drop one or both. I'll probably just drop tailoring, man. I'll drop tailoring and pick up engineering because I need engineering. Tier 2 hunter set looks absolutely garbage. It's very hit or miss, man. Dragonstalker, some people love it. Some people absolutely despise it and think you look like a Power Ranger. I think it looks kind of cool. Kargoz, I love how all these new players are trying for feral DPS and ignoring feral tanking. A feral tank will always have a raid spot over feral DPS in my mind. The good thing, Bruce, is that they're kind of one and the same, dude. Like, you know, there's not a vast difference in terms of itemization and talents that's going to separate, you know, a cat feral DPS druid and a bear tank. So I think we're going to see a lot of druids, man. I do. Druids are a very, very cool class in vanilla. I really love the role and what the roles that they perform. Especially, like I've said in past streams, like the idea that the meta of tanking is shifting away from one-hander and a shield to more dual-wielding Fury Defiance tanking, and warriors aren't so concerned as, you know, about getting, you know, crit and crushed as they were before. And druid tanks that was the main thing that people used to always, you know, spit out the little nugget saying druids can get crit and crushed. GG, well played, never gonna main tank, never gonna tank. You know, druids are like a tank in full threat gear, and they have explosive threat. They also really spread the gear out really evenly, and it allows your raid to like gear up a lot more organically than stacking a bunch of warriors. Druids are great. What's poppin'? Kind of slept in. What's up, Hammy? Welcome to the stream, man. What faction you playing? Spirit Trap? I'm playing Horde, man. Loktar. In Taladril's guide, he shows you how to set up a tank DPS build. Absolutely. So Taladril is my man, dude. He helped me so much with all the druid stuff. I can't even begin to say. If you're thinking about playing Druid in Classic, you should totally join his Discord. He has a Discord called Druid Classic. It's got thousands of people in it. The Druid community is a very passionate one, and they are always talking, theory crafting. It's like, it really is a community. It feels like it. And they even have their own little resort in-game, you know, in Moonglade, which is really cool. Is it viable to level a mage as fire if you don't expect to be able to do our AoE grind? Yeah, it is. Like, you could go to Scorch Spec. That was one thing that Navico showed me the other day. You can go, I can pull it up. I'll pull it up in a little bit after we watch a little bit more of this VOD. But I can skip ahead to show you guys. I mean, this is some pretty good gameplay, right? I don't know. It's pretty sweet. Making good time. I was a feral main tank in Classic, had 43% dodge on. Oh, that is awesome, dude. You have massive health, too. They have more health than warriors, too. Kargoz, besides duoing with a warlock, which classes do you think suits a paladin? for leveling. For a paladin, you could go pally druid. Pally druid's pretty good. In the sense, well, I don't know if I put it up as super tier 1. You can do it. I personally did it before. So you can have the druid give you imp thorns, and that's gonna give you that reflect damage that you really desire when you're AoE tanking, and the druid can like pull for you and give you imp thorns, and you can be playing kind of the protection holy AoE damage dealer. The druid can use like hurricane even. That's pretty good. Paladin's very versatile. Paladin warlock. That's the other one. That's the main one. That's the god tier. Oh no, you said that. Besides doing with a warlock, okay, I would go Pally. I mean, Pally is just good, man. Like pretty much any class can duo with a Pally and you're gonna be successful. But I like partnering Pallies with classes that benefit from Blessing of Wisdom. Blessing of Wisdom is just the nuts while leveling. It really is. You could go with a priest, man. I mean, when is this damn game coming out though? I wish I knew, brother, man. I wish I knew. I can't express how great feral tanking will be at the beginning for 5-mans. Druid by far best 5-man tanks. IMO, Crystal Spire, heal, Thorns, pull. It's hard to lose aggro. Yeah, Druids are my favorite dungeon tanks, man. They're my favorite dungeon tanks, especially while leveling. That's my dream team. What is your guys' dream team 5-man composition while leveling? For me, it would be like, imagine we just have to run SM right now. We're running SM. What's your 5-man comp? I'm kind of split, actually. I really enjoyed tanking as a pally. Once you get to SM, it's like the first dungeon that you can have access to like Consecrate and some of the main tools you need. It would probably be Druid tank though. I would have a Druid tank. It would probably be an Alliance comp, sadly, but it would probably be a Druid tank. We'd have a pally healer. We'd have a Warlock, a Mage, and a Warlock, Mage, maybe another Mage, man. 3 casters, Pally, maybe a Hunter. Warrior, Druid, Paladin, Priest, Warlock. Yeah, it's pretty good too. You can't really go wrong stacking Mages, dude. Mages is just good. Mages is just a good class. More and more I learn about this game, the more I realize Mages are just a good class. If you want a class to play that you're not going to regret for sure, go Mage. Mages are super OP indeed. You can make big plays with Mage, man. You can make big plays. You can infinite value loop on a Mage real easily too, just like using like rank 1 Frostbolt, slowing stuff indefinitely. Kargoz 5-man dream team. Druid, tank, and healer. Double Druid? Enhanced Shami, Mage, and Hunter. On the Horde side, I'd definitely have a Shaman in there. Yeah, on the Horde side, I'd probably have a Shaman healer, Druid tank, Warlock, Mage, and probably Hunter. That'd probably be my dream team. When I was tanking on my Warrior, I always tried to recruit a Mage and a Priest for my 5-mans. Sheep is just so amazing for intro, absolutely, man. Nova too, though, dude. Nova is just the nuts, man. It just blows my mind how strong Nova is. There you go. You're intimidated by Priest. You're gonna roll him. Nice, man. Nice, man. Let's do a little straw poll. See where you guys, what you guys are thinking as far as what you're gonna play. Always curious about the distribution of classes in the house today. We're gonna do a simple class poll. What are you going to main? Not what you're gonna level first, but what are you gonna end up being your primary class? Straw poll coming in the chat momentarily here. Just give me 1 second. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm missing. Okay. All right. I know we've answered this a million times, but a lot of us are still debating. You know, like what class are you actually going to play? It took me up until a week and a half ago for me to decide, and I'm going Warlock, man. As you guys know, going Warlock. Living the dream. Living the dream. On the Fresh Start servers, what should you do if the chest for Benedict's key has a long line of people waiting? I would skip that, absolutely. That's a great question. Yeah, I would skip that, man. That's why you got to be dynamic. Some people, it blows my mind on these Fresh servers. They just sit there, and they just have their OCD is ticking, and they will not leave until they can complete that quest. If there's a long line of people waiting for the key, or in that Night Elf area for that little pendant or whatever, just bounce, dude. You can always make up for it with... for the grinding, dude. I would just bounce immediately. Just make the decision, drop the hammer, and just leave. Thought you were going Hunter? Yeah, I'm going Warlock, my man. Going Warlock. If you see a line to anything, just keep walking. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Thoughts of how really hard will the content be when Classic launches because it's an old game? That's a good question, man. It's a good question. We can talk about that. Class colors on that pole are so messed up. Let me check it out. What you guys decided? I'm voting Warlock. Man, Mage number 1, dude.
Class colors on that pole are so messed up, haha.
Thank you very much for the $2, Alice Robinson. First time seeing you in here. Welcome to the stream, Alice. Appreciate the support. Thank you for the $2. What about the Defias Messenger? Yeah, you might want to steer clear of that guy too. Westfall is going to be an absolute clown fiesta, I'm imagining right now, because... It's already like a zone that's kind of a pain. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love Westfall. It's a beautiful zone, one of the most iconic zones. When I think of Classic WoW, I think of Westfall. It's one of the first zones that comes to mind. But it's a pain leveling there, man. You have to go out and get all these weird reagents, like a couple beaks, a couple livers, a couple of this, a couple of that. It's very like spread out and kind of like non-linear. Westfall. Imagine Elwyn Forest is sharded, right? People cross the bridge into Westfall. Oh, buddy, dude, that's going to be good luck, man. Good luck for you Alliance people. So that's a good question the guy asked before. He was saying, how hard is the content going to be? Here's where I'm at right now. Here's where I'm at as far as Classic WoW in general. This is an important one. Let me clear. Let me take like a moment of silence, collect my thoughts, and then I'm going to say something that I think is kind of an important thing to say. Okay, here's what I'm going to say. So, at this stage in my life, Classic WoW, like, when I think of the game Classic WoW, I think of all the classes, I think of the entire lifespan of a server, I think of all the different raid tiers, from launch, having Onyxia and Molten Core, all the way through, you know, Dire Maul and Zul'Gurub and BWL, Encourage. I think of the entire lifespan of a server, you know, through Nax as one game, as one complete game. Almost in the same way as I would view a game of Dota, a game of chess, a game of whatever. It's a repeatable game. The game is the server life cycle, right? And I think that, you know, even if the content isn't necessarily, you know, even if it gets old, it gets stale as far as the fights go, you know, you can approach the game differently the next time around, and it's almost like you can view the entire Classic experience. The game doesn't have to change. Is the point I'm making. You don't have to have the game constantly change. Like, they don't update games like football or baseball or sports or esports. It's a timeless. Esports and regular sports are like timeless, repeatable games. And if you think of the whole server life cycle as one game, it's repeatable, and you don't need to change it. And there's pretty much indefinite content there. You can do it faster, you can do it better. Also, I think the main legs for Classic WoW to stand on as far as timeless content is going to be on the PvP side of things. I think PvP in Classic WoW is really exciting. It's the only iteration of WoW that's balanced around a very big mixture of consumables and items, not necessarily class. You're not really limited to your class, right? You can work outside the limitations of your class. So I think PvP has big potential. And the other aspect of Classic WoW that I think is really exciting, it's going to offer us timeless content for years and years to come, is you can choose any aspect of the game. It could be professions, it could be PvP, it could be leveling, it could be speed leveling 1 to 10. That could be it. And you can make it competitive. You can make it cool. You can make a community around it. You can make infrastructure, tournaments, anything you want. The game is so, open, and you can just choose one aspect of it and form a whole community around it. And I intend to do that, especially with the leveling stuff. We can just do 1 to 10 or 1 to 20 speed leveling competitions. You can do scavenger hunts. We were talking about this on Chimley's stream the other day. I'm not worried about the content running dry because it's a timeless game, you know? It's a timeless game. Only downside with Druid is that you need to get PvP rank 13. Do you though? Oh, you messaged me, Jan. Thank you. Let me check it out. Let me see, dude. Are you Korax? Okay, here we go. Okay, I'll read into this a little bit later. Thank you for messaging me that. So I guess the TLDR is you can make your wands with even less cloth, and that is great news for people that are gonna be crafting those lesser magic wands. I'm gonna digest this a little bit later, my man. Thank you for messaging me that. When is the world bosses? Phase 2, right? Phase 2. Sup from Norway. Love the vids and enthusiasm, Kargoz. What are your favorite races in non-gameplay terms? So without factoring in class balance or any of the factors of the game, number one race for me is Orc. I just think Orcs look awesome, man. I love the way they look in armor. Even when I played Warcraft 40k, I played Orcs. Just a very cool class to me. A very cool race to me. I like the style, like the aesthetic of their architecture, and I like how, you know, I like their whole like honor code and everything like that. It's really cool. Can you explain the benefits of spirit for a warrior versus strength? Okay, yeah, it's a good one. Thank you for the question. I love answering questions like that where it can actually help people out a little bit. So spirit has grown on me as a stat with each passing day. I'm really curious to see how spirit's going to operate in regular real classic. I think it's going to operate in the same way. That's like kind of our opinion at this point. But one thing you have to think about is if you're leveling a warrior, the bonus agi and strength you get on your gear, it doesn't move the needle that much in terms of increasing your kill speed. It just doesn't net out to that much faster. You could have a ton of strength, you have a corpse maker like 29 strength on it, and your attack and stuff, it's not that much faster, right? But you feel it a lot more when you stack spirit. So like when you're out of combat, you know, you're only going to get that benefit when you're out of combat. You're going to be regenerating, getting back in the fight way faster. And it seems like that has more of an impact than the offensive stats you can get. Now you might be thinking to yourself, why don't I just keep a spirit set? Yeah, you can keep a spirit set. But what I would say is it requires more micromanagement, more APM, more things to consider. You most likely need an add-on to swap into the spirit set. But if you're swapping out pieces that have stam on them for pieces with spirit, when you swap back to that piece, you're going to be missing a chunk of health. So it's going to eat into the benefit of that spirit. So it's the type of thing that you want to try out, right? But warriors benefit more than any other class with regard to spirit. The reason I believe Blizzard designed it this way, rogues too, they get a good amount of benefit from spirit. The reason why I think Blizzard designed it this way is that these classes don't experience any benefit on the mana side of things. So mana users, spirit impacts their mana regeneration in combat. So if they don't cast for 5 seconds, those ticks of regen they experience, that's a function of spirit, right? So, you know, health doesn't regenerate in combat. You have to be outside of combat. So that's why I think that they gave them, you know, a warrior benefits over 10 times as much as a warlock with regard to spirit. Can we get Joanna as Quest someday to the stream as a guest? Dude, I would love to have Joanna on here, dude. Joanna is a legend, dude. Anybody in here buy Joanna's guide back in the day with their mom's credit card? I know I did. Stamina is just more max health. Yes, okay, good. Another thing good to say. So, you know, stamina and intellect, they're just like raw health and raw mana. They don't increase your combat efficiency, right? The things that accrete, or the flow of combat. Like, the flow of combat is a function of, you know, spending and regenerating resources. So stuff like spirit will regenerate resources faster. You know, you only need enough stamina and intellect to get you through that engagement successfully. Now, if you're playing, you know, if PvP is another factor, right? If you're on a PvP realm, you maybe need to have a little bit more stamina because you need to survive these encounters. Like if you have no stamina on your gear, maybe you just get global by anyone trying to mess with you. But in like a theory crafted sense, like if you're out in the world by yourself and you're fighting mobs, like if you have a lot of stamina or int on your gear, it's not really doing anything for you other than, you know, keeping you. But if you're playing at a high level, oh, here's a little tip, by the way. You can duel each other when you're dual leveling. You see this? So you can die faster. Pro tip. You duel each other, you get super low level, super low health, and then you just let a mob kill you. But If you're playing at a high level, you're likely not going to be dying that often. You're not going to bite off more than you can chew. So having that extra stamina or intellect is not going to really work for you, but having spirit will. People talking about getting spirit on a warrior gets so much hate still, which makes no sense to me. Yeah, they benefit a lot from spirit, man. They do. I mean, that's the main thing as a warrior too. Like your damage is actually pretty good as a warrior. It feels pretty juicy, especially when you get like sweeping strikes. You're able to cleave these mobs down, but getting back in the fight is the hard part, you know. And if you stack a bunch of spirit on your warrior, you will absolutely feel it, man. Like you will be regenerating in chunks. Please make a gold farming level 40 mount guide. You make excellent guides and no one has a good one on YouTube yet. Actually, Def Camp and Melderon have a good one. How to get your mount by 40. What I would say, man, getting your mount at 40. First of all, it doesn't help that much if you're some classes. Like if you're a druid or a shaman, it doesn't help as much as you might think. Like you have to be traveling like a total of like 23 seconds or something like that when you factor in cast time, before the 60% speed mount is better than the 40% speed. Now, still absolutely get it, but if you're one of those classes, it's not the end of the world if you don't get it for another couple levels. You might even want to get, you know, better weapon progression, spend that money on better weapon progression. It might even be more worthwhile. But one thing I will say is that something as simple as vendoring of getting skinning and skinning everything you see and vendoring it will net out to pretty much enough gold is what you need at 40. Like I skip a lot of mobs. Like if I'm leveling a hunter or speed leveling a hunter, like I only loot a mob if it's right by me pretty much. I very rarely gonna walk over in an inefficient way and go loot a mob. And I'll get skinning and I'll just skin pretty regularly and sell the skins, and I don't really have too many issues getting my mount at 40. As long as you make a habit of that, I think you're gonna be good, man. Also choose quest rewards that vendor for more. That's another thing. Kargoz has an XP graph in his class guides. You can use this to show this is the same in and out of dungeons. Yeah, it's the same. You get 200% from XP, 200% XP bonus from elites, though. Kargoz, how much hate do you think a warrior would get for need rolling a staff in a dungeon which has big melee damage on it? I don't think you get a lot of hate. Here's the thing, though. Like, the staves are really good early. You know, once you start getting stuff like axe specialization, then you start to get a little bit more trapped into that weapon class, right? Because anything that you're going to choose, you have to realize it's losing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% crit as opposed to an axe, right? But in the early levels, especially, I mean, staves have an awesome weapon progression, man. As a shaman as well, shamans and warriors, I would be pursuing staves more often than not. Really use any weapon though. Just evaluate. Look at the look how slow it is. Look at the top end. Look at what stats are on it. You don't have to worry too much about you know, having it be a certain type of weapon. And stuff like the weapon skill on axes, or a bow skill, or a gun skill if you're a dwarf, it really doesn't move the needle that much at all, especially while leveling. Elaborate a bit more on that dual death trick. Oh, it's really easy, man. If you're dual leveling, you just duel each other. You get yourself down to like, you know, 1% HP with the duel, and then you have a mob right next to you kill you, and you're able to die a lot faster, because it takes some time to die. Like right there, we were underwater. It would take a long time to die in that situation. So you just duel each other, get yourselves really low, and then you just let the mob finish you off, pretty much. Pretty much it, dude. FY, Frost almost makes videos about excellent. Yeah, Frost is my man, dude. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. Level 1 to 20 staffs are great as well. Going to one-handers if you can find a good staff. Yeah, the staffs early are really good, man. Like Crescent Staff, if you're Horde, you should absolutely go get that Crescent Staff, man. If you're going to do a level as a warrior, which hopefully you are, definitely go get that. Yes, so do this death trick when you're under level 10, because no, you can even do it a little bit over, though, man. Like, even if you're like level 11, 12, the res sickness is not too bad. It's still worth it a lot of times if you just save a minute or two. Especially if you're like a hunter or something, like, you can still kill stuff with a res sickness. You have a pet, right? The pet does massive damage. Like, you just throw on a serpent sting, let your pet finish it off. You can still use that trick a little bit after 10 as well. Kargoz, I'm surprised the druids are so much more popular as compared to, say, a paladin in the poll. Why do you think druids... Oh, well, dude, the thing is druids are cross-faction. Like, you can have alliance druids, you can have horde druids. You can't have horde paladins, you can't have alliance shamans. So it makes sense that druid would be a little bit higher. as far as I'm concerned. I do think we're going to get a lot more druids this time, though. I think druids are in a good spot in 112. People have kind of gotten over that prejudice. People are going into Classic now with a much different perspective than how it was back in the day. And again, I really was not in tune with a lot of this, to a lot of this thinking back then. I was kind of a serious noob back in the day. I raided through AQ and did what I could do, but it's like old school vanilla to me was just a giant blur of like, just doing weird stuff, and a lot of this thinking has come by way of these private servers. But historically, people will tell you that druids experienced a lot of prejudice throughout Classic because they went through certain periods of where they were a bit underwhelming, or maybe that they were tried in certain roles and people didn't know how to play them or whatever. So by the time 112 rolled around, all the classes were in a pretty good spot, but there was a serious amount of prejudice for this class to overcome, and a lot of people just wouldn't give druids the time of day. But I think now, going into Classic with a complete view of how the classes are balanced, people have a different perspective on it. They're not getting a taste of, they're not getting that prejudice in their mind. I think we're going to see a lot more druids, a lot more hybrids in general, I think, this time around. Liam, no, this is just playing locally on my computer, man. Merge Paladin and Shaman counts together. Merge Paladin and Shaman counts together. Yeah, you could do that. Hey, Johnny Bravo, what's up, dude? Good to see you in here, man. Good to see you, dude. Best preferable population. I'm the type of dude where I would prefer a smaller server. I don't know about you guys. We can do a vote on that. It might be an interesting thing to see. It's been a while since I've done a vote on that, but I like the smaller the server, the better for me. And I would say, Blizzard could just consolidate them, just merge them together if population becomes an issue. But I like having a smaller, tighter-knit community. Now, on the same note, I'm looking to play with a lot of friends and stuff, and have a big, happy community. So, having a smaller server would probably mean less people can play there and more server queues, right? Server queues, login queue times, right? Is that that's a simple assumption to make. You have a lower server cap, so more people want to play there. Longer wait times towards being able to log in. All right, that sounds like it could suck, but I do want smaller the better, as far as I'm concerned. We can do a little vote on that though, on what you guys think the ideal server size is. I think what did they say back in the day, that vanilla was designed to support like 3K people or something like that. Ideal server size. Okay. Poll's coming in the chat right now, dude. Let's see where you guys are at. See where you guys are at on this. I plan on streaming WoW when Classic comes back. What CPU, GPU are you using? Are you doing a 2-tower setup? Yeah, I got one computer over here, one computer over here. But I wouldn't... Bro, I have a black thumb when it comes to streaming. You guys already know this, man. I touch one setting on OBS and everything just breaks. I broke my processor with an X-Acto knife a couple weeks ago. I don't know too much about this streaming. But it doesn't take all that much to stream. If you're thinking about streaming, don't be intimidated by it. It's not that hard, man. It's really not. If you have any questions, you can message me directly. I can try and help you out. You think a steady 4 to 5K pop would be nice? All right, let me see what you guys think. I'm gonna vote 2,500. Let's see here. Damn, 5K by far. Wow, interesting. See, I do really enjoy these straw polls. Wow, very few of you actually are voting for the smaller ones. Very interesting. People do want larger server sizes. Can you guys answer this though? I'm trying to see. Am I missing something here? If you had a smaller server, like 2,500, would that result in longer wait times towards logging in, longer queue times? I feel like it would, right? I don't know why I haven't thought about that before. Yeah, 5K is killing it. I mean, 5K though, guys, I'll have to say, dude, 5K, a lot of people, dude. I'm not saying any server names right now, but there are certain private servers in the world that are around 5K, and people cry. People cry saying it's too crazy in the PvP hotspots. Best professions to complement leveling, not solely for making gold. There's a lot to unpack there, though, Robert. It depends if you're solo, duo. I think one thing that comes to mind is like what professions aren't suited for leveling. Probably engineering. Be very costly to level engineering while leveling. I don't think, you know, blacksmithing is too conducive towards it as well. All right, so we watched a good amount of this. We're gonna watch another one now. All right, there you go. There's another one. Kargoz, the higher population, the more Blizzard would feel justified in adding sharding. I think Scepter of the Shifting Sands events making them shard Silithus. Yeah, I sure hope they don't, man. That would be kind of a breach of trust, I'd say, though. Blizzard kind of made it seem that people would kind of made it seem that well, Blizzard made it seem like they're not going to do sharding past the starting zones. So I feel like they made that kind of an official point. You know, right? They went out and said that, like, kind of pretty decisively. So if they went back on that, I think that would be kind of a breach of trust towards the community, and people would get pretty upset about that. So I'm taking them at their word right now. You know, they seem pretty clear about just having sharding in the starting zones only, and only for the first couple of weeks, which I think, you know, makes sense as far as I'm. Can you cap server pop for accounts with tunes created but not have queue times for logging in? I have no idea, Patty. What's up, Kargoz, my man? Keep doing what you're doing, bro. And congrats to the whole CWL team. Yo, thank you, guys. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I should probably plug the site at some point. We did launch our baby, guys. We've been working on this site, community site, for like months now. It's called Classicwow.live. That's the domain. And we launched it last week, and it's been a journey, man. Like, it was a great launch. And pretty much, if you want to duo level, if you want to find a partner, you can go to Classicwow.live right now, and we have a whole forum set up for people to like get to do matchmaking, to find people that want to duo level or trio level or whatever it might be. So I can pull it up for a little bit. All right. Okay, let me pull up the site, show you guys. So here's the site. Actually, a lot of people have been putting content on here. This is really nice. But you guys can submit content on here too, man. Like, pretty much anyone. It's not just you know, content creators who are established. Like, anybody can submit a guide here. You pretty much have these filters, so you can pick a class, PvE, PvP, whatever. You know, we got a whole live tab. Oh, nice, we're on the top. So there's a live tab. You can watch people streaming. There's a whole forums. And this is where it's at, guys. If you want to find a dual leveling partner, go here to dual leveling, and you can make a little post and say, you know, NA Hunter seeking Shaman, you know, EU Warrior seeking Priest, and you can find somebody. Because I know a lot of people want to duo level, but they don't have somebody who's willing to be on the same schedule. So at least here, you can make a post and say, yo, this is my availability. These are the hours I want to play, and then people can link up, you know, and play together. What professions for leveling a shaman? Skinning, leatherworking, or mining, blacksmithing? I would just get skinning, man. When in doubt, get skinning. I haven't really investigated a lot of the professions too heavily and figured out, like, if there's, you know, big things you can strive for. But I think skinning is a pretty nice universal profession to pick up. You're going to be killing lots of beasts as you level. It's just inevitable. It's a very natural progression. It doesn't take too much time out of your day to do it, and it's good supplementary income on the way up. Tinder for WoW players. Yeah, that's pretty much what that is, yeah. What duo class are you going to duo level with on your lock? That's a good question. I'm going to go duo lock. I'm going to go lock or lock priest. What profession should a druid get? Yeah, I you know, the profession thing, I'm not too knowledgeable on the profession thing, guys. I know that duo leveling, I love the whole wand progression. I'm going to further investigate stuff, but skinning would be my default answer to you guys. If you're when in doubt, get skinning. Swipe right, all priests, lol. The Spelladin build posted by Templar Drakova. Oh, Drakova's a cool guy, yeah. Seems very interesting, but I am unsure if it's a meme spec or not. Huh. Spelladin, huh? Where is that? Spelladin. Nope, that's not it. Let's go to Paladin. Oh, the Spelladin. Oh, interesting. My thing about this, though, very interesting, is Spelladin. I know people have done Spell Power Hunter before and stuff. I don't know if that's going to be a private server thing, though, or if it's going to be like that in real Classic. I think a lot of the spell coefficients are, like, being guessed at, and they operate differently on different servers. I'm curious to see if this will work. This is very interesting, though. Why Spelladin? Actually viable DPS, most likely. None of us know how Classic will be tuned in the end. This is kind of my feeling on it, man. Yeah, none of us know how Classic's going to be tuned exactly, so I would take this with a grain of salt, but very interesting. Very interesting. Spelladin is great. Can you show us that Scorch leveling spec? Yeah, I can show that real quick. Okay. I love me some talents. I love me some Classic talents. See if you guys can see this all right. Dead of Night, dude. Dead of Night subscribed to Twitch Prime. They've been subscribed for 2 months. Thank you for the 2 months, my man. Dead of Night. Been seeing you in the Discord, being a very active member of the community, man. Really appreciate it, dude. Thank you for the 2 months, brother. All right. So this is Fire Mage leveling, right? Not something I have a ton of experience with personally, but my man Navik has tried this before. He really enjoys it. He smoked me in PvP using the spec a few times. We did some duels. So it's pretty much like this. You're going to be casting Scorch primarily. Let me go down the tree, first of all. Ignite. Pyroblast. There we go. Improve Scorch. Oh, which one is it? Critical Mass. This is what it's looking like. So you're going to improve Scorch. This is a really critical talent. Your Scorch spells have a 100% chance to cause your target to be vulnerable to fire damage. This vulnerability increases the fire damage dealt to your target by 3% and lasts 30 seconds. Stacks up to, that's wrong. It'll stack up to 5 times, I believe. You have a 10% chance to stun the target for 2 seconds when you cast Scorches, and you're just casting a ton of Scorches. Scorches have pretty good DPME. You also have Pyroblast too. So Pyroblast, spells like Soulfire and Pyroblast are interesting in the sense that they're actually very, very cheap spells, because if you cast them while you have less than 100% mana, you're ticking back up the whole time you're casting it. So you're getting a lot of mana while you're casting this thing. So Pyroblast isn't useless while leveling as well. But yeah, you're going to be spamming Scorch with this build, getting stuns, getting Ignite. Pretty cool. Shockedins were a thing, but the spec got ruined. I think Shockedins might be different, though. I don't know if that's what he's talking about. A lot of Paladins I've talked with feel like Shockedin is, I think that like, Holy Shock is kind of a meme. Oh, Burning Soul, Master of Elements. Yeah, this could be a little bit off. I've never tried this myself, personally, but this is something that Navik really enjoys a lot. So I heard summer. We got any certain dates? Nah, man, no certain dates yet. We're all just kind of hanging in there, biding our time. What do you guys think the next blue post is going to be? Think we're going to get one this week? I hope we get a friggin' something juicy, man. Server pop size or release date, maybe? Release date would be great. Does spell power increase Thunder Fury's elemental damage? I believe it does, BK. Not 100% sure if it's going to work like that in Classic, but Thunder Fury damage apparently does scale. Next blue post will be pet battles. Yeah, man. Hopefully not. The thing is that you level slower a priest when you're alone, and alone it means open elite quests. Yeah, priests definitely benefit a lot from duo leveling for sure. Do you think Blizzard should lower the cost of respecking to something like 25 gold a pop to encourage players to try out different builds without changing core gameplay balance? That's an interesting question. Short answer, no, man. I think that the 50 gold high barrier to entry towards respecking, I actually like it. It's one of those things where it's like it hurts so good. I think that the high barriers to entry allow people to build a reputation, you know, as a certain spec, and they don't have to. Oh, we're getting a host from Joe Long with 1 viewer. Thank you, Joe Long, dude. Thank you for the host, my man. I like the high respec costs. It makes it so you have more of a reputation for a certain spec, because very few people are going to be able to just respec constantly and just, you know, you choose the optimal spec for the right job. I like it, man. Imp Scorch is good for PvE, and PvP Scorch is great, so you might think it's good, but it's not as good as other talents. Yeah, I haven't messed around too much with the improved Scorch spec. It's a great build for leveling on a PvP server. Kills very efficiently, and you get way more impacts with Scorch spam than Fireball. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'd like to try that sometime. Is there any point in leveling a class that isn't your main for the sole purpose of getting early gold, making opportunities for faster leveling classes? It's a good question as well. So I'd say if we were in a situation where we're going to have Dire Maul on launch, that becomes a much more clean answer. If we had Dire Maul Phase 1, some of the, you know, top end players are saying that you pretty much need to level a major hunter to be able to get into Dire Maul, start doing tribute runs. You get a lot of gold from Dire Maul, so leveling that first would be the play. But since we don't have Dire Maul on launch, I don't think it's going to be that much of a thing, you know, as much of a thing where you have to level a mage first or something like that. With that said, mages are insane. They have so much utility, and you could level a mage first and then dungeon mob tag your alts up to 60, or just mob tag your alts in general. How good is Power Word Shield in duos? It depends. Like, if you're with a warrior, you know, Power Word Shield may not be super good because you're stopping him from generating rage. But, you know, if you're a priest warlock or something, Power Word Shield isn't that, you know, isn't super efficient from a mana standpoint. But you can use it in a situation where you're going to be able to recover the cost, right? Like, in the interim period between pulling the next set of mobs, you can throw up a Power Word Shield, recover that mana that was lost, and be fine. So it depends on the duo. Yo, Kargoz, can you please comment on Warlock farming? I don't know too much about Warlock farming. I know that they can do Maraudin. I saw a video on that a few months ago, where just with the lesser invis pot, you can go in there and solo princess and do princess runs as a warlock. That was kind of cool. That's your stomping ground as a hunter, being able to farm Maraudin. So that was good to know that I can fall back on that as on my warlock. Isn't Power Word Shield same mana efficiency as Renew? I don't know, you know, to the T, man. I mean, you're going to get different ranks at different times, but my feeling is that Renew, when you're in combat, like when you're fighting something, is going to be more mana efficient to throw up Renew rather than Power Word Shield. I think there are just so many mages in the pool because of gold farming in the beginning, but I don't think that outside of this community there are that many mages in the pool. Yeah, I mean, mages are just good, man. Good in PvP, pretty much all aspects. Good in PvP, PvE and PvP in pretty much all aspects. You'd think that they were a pure DPS class and that they would lack some utility, but they have a ton of utility they bring to the table. Mages are just good in Classic, man. Yep. What are your thoughts on Warlock Shaman duo? Okay, Warlock Shaman duo is interesting. It doesn't have like colossal amounts of synergy in the sense that the Warlock, you don't really get a ton of value from the Shaman totems. You know, kind of have misaligned movement speeds. It'd be fine. Warlock Healer is just good. You know, Warlock Healer is good. You can just tap a lot more aggressively. It'd be fine, but it doesn't stick out as like God comp or anything. But it would be very solid. Yep. Kargoz, you roll in a Warlock, a class you don't know everything about, is a good thing, since because you like to figure everything out about a class that will benefit other locks eventually. Yeah, I'm really excited to you know, dig my teeth into the Warlock class and to figure out how to play it and stuff. It's like a new game to me, you know? Like maining another class was never really a thing I got into too much. I always really just played Hunter. So going Warlock this time around, I'm really excited. I even made the new logo. You guys have seen this already, right? This is Kargoz's new form right here. Shout out to Brandung Media for making this thing. I really like this logo. I think he did a good job with it. put the rank 13 shoulders on there. Hopefully I can get that. Even put my exact hairstyle I'm going to use on the lock. So yeah, this has got me excited and motivated to play lock with the new logo and everything like that. Do you think 3 druids would be good? I don't know, man. I don't know. It wouldn't. I mean, you would have 1 guy in bear and 2 in cat shredding from behind. Stuff would die too quick. I don't know. I would just go two druids could be pretty good. Kargoz, on a fresh launch, do you think it's more viable to forget about AoE grinding for a mage since most of all AoE grind spots will be taken or contested? If yes, would you go pure fire? No, I would still go frost. I mean, I think that you have a good shot as a mage. Mages level very quick in the early levels. Like, you can go from 1 to 12 very quickly on a mage. Or 1 to 14, rather. 14, you can pick up your arcane explosion. You can start AoE grinding at that point already. You just need to partner up with another mage, most likely. If you're gonna kind of like not contest those AoE spots and not try to get ahead of the pack as a mage, I would still go the AoE spec. I would still go frost pretty much. I just wouldn't pick up I wouldn't pick up frostbite, the one that gives you 15% chance to root the enemy. As long as you don't pick that up, you can basically just level, solo, regular, like everything's all good. And then as soon as a spot opens up, you can AoE grind. That's the only talent that's going to prevent you and present a hard stop towards AoE grinding. So if you just don't take frostbite and just level normally. Kargoz, my favorite class is mage, but due to how many in our community are rolling mages, I feel like I have to play something else like warlock or priest. I don't know, man. I wouldn't let what other people are playing determine what you play, man. You might regret that. Like, just play, play whatever you want to play, man. I don't know. That's my advice. Is fishing a viable money-making profession so that it can sustain resource costs for 2 crafting professions? I don't know if it will be initially. I think fishing, especially if you're fishing up some of the seasonal stuff, like the winter squid or the summer whatever, that stuff holds value really well. I don't know if it's going to be some amazing moneymaker right off the get-go, though. Kargoz, are you going PvP server? Dude, you already know, Matthew. We're going PvP server for sure. PvP, man. Mage is going to be better to roll as a 2nd or 3rd character. There will be no room to AoE grind on a fresh launch. If you can get ahead, there is, then. If you can get ahead of the pack, dude, and you put those hours in, you'll be able to get those spots. Hey, what's up, Atticus? Welcome, dude. Good to see you in here. All melee hit cap is 5% for yellow hits, correct? Yes, 5% is the melee hit, is the hit cap for PvP. Yep. Now yellow hits. I don't know. You're psyching me out here a little bit. So people are very curious on if yellow abilities, yellow hits are going to be using that 2-roll system, right? So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Dude, I'm completely new to WoW, and your videos have been so helpful. I only played vanilla because retail looks shit, man. I'm 26, so I kind of missed the WoW hype train. Can't wait to hit Classic. Dude, welcome, Frosty. Dude, that's cool. Thanks for sharing that with us, man. Welcome to the stream, dude. I'm glad they could be of help. Are you rolling SL spec or SM Ruin? I mean, for rating, I'll be going SM Ruin or DS Ruin. One or the other. I still have to investigate which one I think is going to be better in the early. But as far as PvP, I really am very attracted to SL Warlock. I think it looks like so much fun, and at the earliest opportunity to do so viably, I'm going to be SL Warlock in PvP. No problem, Frosty. No problem, dude. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've been streaming 2 hours now. I'm going to work on a video. I got some videos coming. I've been cranking on some stuff behind the scenes, so thanks for joining me today. Feels good to be back streaming again with you guys. I'll be back tomorrow as well, same time, 11:30. So hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and see you guys next time, man. Peace out.